Howdy, hey everybody. Can we hear me? Music a good level? I'm not at the kitchen yet, mainly because I just wanted to kind of chill in the PC room and show you the chickens just before we get underway. So most of you are familiar with the blue chicken on the left there, but we picked up the golden chicken at PAX there on the right. We had some generous crowdfunding for the golden chicken, some of whom are in the audience. Thank you so much. And he's a big boy. He's a big chunky boy. If my kitchen was in better condition, I would have these guys in the background while I'm cooking because, like, I love them, but I want to kind of, like, maintain their integrity. I've taken great care of the blue one in the last couple of years, so it's held up really well. Let me do a quick check of the kitchen cam. So that's me clapping from the other room. Like, you were probably getting a slight echo there while I changed audio sources, but farmer's lunch. Farmer's lunch. I'm really looking forward to doing this one. It's a little easier, I would say, than the pink cake. Pink cake. My God, I'm still recovering from that bloody cake. But I'll show you how, like, that held up in the freezer as well. But welcome in, guys. How is our Wednesday? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. How's our Tuesday treating us? Hope it's well. Mish. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for reflecting the hype. Like I said, I've been excited and nervous to do this one because I know it's not a giant pink cake, but you know what? It's still a Stardew Valley recipe, and I love it. I love it. These poor chickens. We've got to cook them today. I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you. Especially, like, I've grown to appreciate omelets a whole lot more. And I've been interested to see what kind of omelets we can make. Exclamation train if you do hear a train roll by at any time while I'm cooking. It's just some fun for you guys. We've also got the fishing game if you do get bored, and if you want to check your wholesomes, you're more than welcome to. We're not going to be pinning wholesomes just because we want to remind people to be kind and careful while they're cooking. So, very much appreciate it. We're going to be starting off with some parsnips in the oven today. Look at all those beautiful wholesomes. Hey, Marcos. We're going to be doing some parsnips in the oven to start out. I've never really worked with parsnips before, but I'm really interested to see how this goes together with everything. Now, if anyone knows anything about Stardew Valley and the dishes, the farmer's lunch is like an omelette and parsnip situation. They've done their best to kind of make it interesting enough to cook. You're separating the whites and yolks and all that sort of stuff. So it's not just, crack egg in pot, the end. There's some fancy cheese as well involved, and you see giant golden chicken is a brand new acquisition. This was crowdfunded by the community, so I do want to thank you so much to those of you who helped with that. Is that a Lanini? Hey, Lanini. I'm putting off going to the kitchen just because I like to chat with you guys as well, but I really need to get this underway, don't I? I'll move the chickens. I will move the... Actually, I don't expect this to be an especially long stream, so what we're going to do after the food is cooked, we're going to watch some more Gordon Ramsay afterwards. We'll have to see whether we want Kitchen Nightmares or Hell's Kitchen beforehand. So we'll just kind of treat it as a nice sort of at home with Mishy. We're just kind of chilling and discussing food and having a good time. You know, we're not distracted by games. We can just kind of get some community happening here. And, you know, community time is something I do want to prioritize in the future, and that's kind of why I like to ask you guys what you like to see in terms of cooking, get you guys to vote on some Stardew recipes, you know, things that aren't giant cakes in the future. And just get to know each other some more and just hang out. All right, I will set the stage and we'll go from there. I'm yelling from the computer room. Oh. I'll have you guys on a phone, so I'll still be able to reach that. We'll shut this. We'll shut this. Alright, wave bye to the chickens, everybody. Bye-bye, chickens. Do you guys want a chicken stream at some point? We could do that for New Year's. Pokemon in the chat. If you do notice a train roll by at any point, exclamation train, it's just a fun little counter for you guys. I think we're good with everything we need. I do have water here. But how are we all doing today? For anyone who is not acquainted, this is a recipe from the Stardew Valley Cookbook. Hello. I've tried 2 other recipes, maybe 3 so far. Can't remember. So we're going to be making the farmer's lunch today. So this is an omelette and parsnip sort of situation. Ingredients: 3 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of whole milk, 1 tablespoon unsalted butter, kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper. We're just going to use regular salt. We need half a cup of Gruyere cheese. I do actually like Gruyere from like the cheese cauliflower that we did. 2 heaping tablespoons of coarsely chopped fresh spring herbs, such as chervil, tarragon, chives, and or flat leaf parsley. We've got parsley today. Roasted parsnips with baby arugula, recipe follows. And we need a 10-inch cast iron skillet with tight-fitting lid. We do not have the skillet, but I do have like a frying pan with a perfectly fitting lid from a different saucepan. So that's perfect. The parsnips with arugula, and that's rocket if you are in Oceania. 1 pound of fresh parsnips, trimmed, peeled, cut into 1/2-inch pieces. 2 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil. 2 teaspoons maple syrup. Kosher salt, freshly ground pepper, and 1.5 cups of lightly packed baby arugula. We have a bunch of rocket here today. We're not going to need all of it, of course, but I love it and I'm not complaining. What are we making? The farmer's lunch from the Stardew Valley Cookbook. So, it looks kind of like this. The community was gracious enough to crowdfund this, and I wanted to kind of bring it back to you guys by doing some cooking streams. Also, Ducky. This is a face you haven't seen since PAX. All right. So we basically need to start the parsnips first because it takes 40 minutes in the oven. We've already got the oven preheating. We need to prepare the parsnips, and then we basically combine it with a bunch of stuff, put it in the oven. It's a me. If I am, like, I probably like talking a little loud for you guys. But yeah, let me know if the music needs adjusting or if, like, you know, I can talk quieter. I can probably talk quieter. It echoes a fair bit in here. So, parsnips aren't all that common here. So I've got this little, and it's maybe 100 grams less than the recipe needs, but that's okay. Be safe with knives. I'm gonna need to peel as well. Truthfully, I could have replaced these with, like, I guess carrots or like sweet potato, but the whole point is like roasted parsnips with baby arugula. Like, it's the side. It's literally in the name. So I'm gonna give it a fair chance. It doesn't smell all that different from carrots, to be honest. That's the first impression. A little strange looking, aren't they? The Spotify playlist we've got at the moment is 2000's Mum Cooking in the Kitchen, if anyone's curious. If anyone is curious as to the stream setup, so many trains, yeah. I live right by a train line, and they're pretty, at 4 o'clock, like, it's peak hour. So there's a lot of, like, express trains going back and forth. Like, I've grown used to it. I've lived here for about 3 years or so. I've grown used to it. But I think it's just another reminder of how, like, good my mic is, because you never hear them going by with that mic. But I'll hear, like, a rumble, I'll feel a rumble under my feet, like, maybe once a day. And I'm just like, oh, that's the train going by. These parsnips are very strange. It almost doesn't feel worth, like... I'm gonna show you... But yeah, if anyone's curious as to my setup, I've got a second phone for reading, and my main phone is being used as the camera source on OBS. I've used the phone for, like, mobile gaming or for mainly Lego streaming as a second angle. But I know Ducky has questions about streaming, and I'm happy to answer them as we go. You know, no gatekeeping. I was going to trim the ends like a carrot, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I'm massacring these parsnips. They just smell like a funkier carrot. You're a cute kitty, lovely. I know you've been doing a fair bit of cooking yourself, so that's been really fun to see. And people talk about, like, success in streaming and talk about people sort of doing better with, like, one thing. But, like I've said many times, if I was to stream only one thing, I'd probably just give up streaming, because it gets dull after a bit. And I like these occasional sort of just chatting streams, because we all get to know each other better and kind of share that universal love for cooking. and food. You're all good, Fern. I'm trying to be lurker friendly and a bit more mindful. So we do have the lurking don't acknowledge me redeem. But if there are people doing like wholesome checks as a walk-on or a tea claim, don't forget your teas, by the way. I'm just trying to be mindful of the fact that not everyone's going to be wanted to be greeted. Especially us Parlian folk who usually just like to sit and listen. And I can understand that might be a contentious stance. But people like Mannix, for example, lurked for ages before they really got talking. How are you, Mannix? How was the rest of stream? The Pokemon game? Excellent. I know a lot of people are having fun. And it is just one of those things where it's just like, I'm super happy when I see people sort of doing and trying new games and other things, especially streamer friends. It gets very daunting when you are streaming all as a variety streamer. Boy, am I thankful I chatted. Me too. And like you and LM, Let Me Fail in Peace, are names that I noticed, but I never wanted to call out. Makes for a more authentic connection when you do finally speak. Pig Bunny. I think Mannix kind of inspired me a little bit. I ended up pre-ordering the Elderwood bundle from Madrina's. I always wondered if it was maybe a little expensive, but, you know, getting it on its own means that shipping isn't so expensive either, because they tax on the individual items. And it's like 10, 11, like, US, I think. So yeah, like the Elderwood bundle with Madrina's is a pre-order, I believe. But it's only, it comes out next month, which isn't that far away. So if you can find a creator code, it's usually like 10% off. So I ended up going with Feisty streams. So we're going to get the Funky Shroom. I thought about the Cappuccino. You even get like the pillow plushies, but I think the Elderwood bundle is something I would like to try. Like, it's a bit more unique. Into the sky. So yeah, the Funky Shroom. It's a bit more on brand tea. And I get the shaker as well, right? Gotta look for a bit, so I won't see much, but Love Shoe has all the fun cooking. I will. And guys, this goes up on YouTube as well, if you do want to kind of catch up afterwards. There's also the Twitch VOD too. I'm not really feeling this one. That's better. Not that I don't like the song, but it's a bit too intense. parsnips. So we need to trim these and cut them into 1.5 centimeter pieces. If anyone is curious about the recipe, I have popped it in the Discord announcements for today. Like I said, it's a little simpler than the cake. The cake was so long. Such a big string. Hey, Gabs. How you doing? Be safe with knives, everyone. Be safe with knives. Parsnips are such a strange vegetable. And I don't, like, knowingly go out of my way for them. I did have some suggestions on, like, changing up the recipe from Wild Animal. But I think I'm just going to do the recipe as is, just to see, like, follow the book, just to see the positives and negatives about it too. Hello. So, I think I'll do like this. I want to kind of chop them a bit more evenly. So, like, you're not getting, like, you're getting reasonable kind of parsnip, regardless of the actual sort of thickness, right? Exclamation train if you do hear or see a train at any point. Like, we can probably chop this. This is a little thicker. Cool. How are people faring this week? Are we enjoying our week? Are we hating our week? This one's a little thicker, but I don't want to make it any smaller. I have been really struggling on the self-care this week. So if I have been a little quiet, I do apologize. I'm still waiting on my MRI results, but I'm not sure if I should go to my GP, who also has a copy, or if I'm best to just speak to my specialist. I'm going to just stick to speaking to my specialist, I think. Because otherwise it gets to the point of, like, asking a car detailer how the engine's going. It doesn't seem all that helpful. I think I'm just going to leave this as is. It's a long, but it's really thin. Same with this. Streaming is going pretty well. There's always going to be some trouble when certain time zones don't quite work out. So if you love a streamer, but you're in the OC, it might feel a bit one-sided if one person can only visit at a certain time and vice versa. But it is what it is. It's just really an understanding of, you know, what you want to get out of streaming and friends. Preheat the oven, line a baking sheet, Combine the parsnips, olive oil, maple syrup, and a large pinch of salt and pepper. I'm going to use a bigger bowl for this, just because we're going to be using the residual sort of dressing for the rocket. Afternoon OCE is pretty dead, but I like it from time to time. Evening streams go off the chain, yeah. I like this time slot. There's a lot of people coming home from work. There's other time zones going to bed. There's other time zones waking up. It's a good, like, middle ground. And I found that, unfortunately, I used to prioritize other time zones, but I really overexerted myself doing it, and I found that people weren't really understanding that effort either. So I am better to kind of self-care for myself, hit Aussie prime time. And you know what? I'm here if people wake up and need the company, which is an absolutely amazing and flattering thing too. The consistency over the last few months as well has been fabulous. You want to know something? I was picking up like maple syrup and I couldn't find it in the spreads. And I was just like, I've gone to both stores. Like, where is it? Turns out it's in the dessert aisle. Turns out it is in the dessert aisle. And it's basically there next to chocolate sauces and all of that. Have to finish a project, so once you're done with that, you go to bed. No worries, Vanty. And half the time you end up waking up as well, which is fabulous. You'd think it would be in spreads, right? Also, we need maple syrup. We went with golden syrup because we frugal. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna measure this out. So we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, bit of olive oil, how are you doing anyway, Mish? Hope you're having a great night so far. Yes, I've been on the headachy side, but I'm recovering better with some water and some medication. How have you been, Coaster? Are you up to tower shenanigans? We are doing the farmer's lunch from Stardew Valley. We need 2 tablespoons. Teaspoons, I should say. Health isn't great, so you're laying low. That's completely understandable, and I hope you feel better, Coaster. Can we get some well wishes for Coaster, please? Working and lurking, bestie. Looking forward to seeing this tasty farmer's lunch. Me too, to be honest. I'm getting kind of hungry. We don't have any mods in chat, I don't think. Otherwise, I'd give a shouty for Matrix. Unless there is one hanging out in the shadows. That's... I forgot how much I love this stuff. My typical water bottle is in the sink overnight with some vinegar and some baking soda, just to kind of wash that out. Don't forget to wash out your water bottles if you do have those heavy duty ones, because there's also some gunk and stuff at the bottom. I had the good fortune of meeting Matrix at PAX this year. I had won a sticker earlier in the year, and she ended up passing that along, which was wonderful, but I was just happy to see her, right? She somewhat inspired me with Stardew. I was feeling a little burnt out, and truthfully, I still am, so that's somewhat why we're doing this series of, like, cooking from the cookbook, because it's a different way to appreciate Stardew Valley. So we're just kind of seasoning up these parsnips before they go in the oven. See, there's so much love in the chat right now. So this is kind of what we've got at the moment. So there are people like Tesseract who are just like, I hate veggies, don't get me anywhere near veggies, but like when they're coated in maple syrup like this, holy crap, this is gonna be tasty. In a large bowl, combine the parsnips, olive oil, maple syrup, large pinch of salt and pepper, spread in an even layer on the baking sheet. Roast the parsnips until they're tender and brown in spots, 35 to 40 minutes, stirring occasionally. I might set some timers in chat so that I check the parsnips. Hey Flipper, how's it going? And then we basically, once these are out of the oven, serve it with rocket. So we've got this interesting kind of parsnip, roast parsnip situation. Let me catch up with the chat. It really makes you appreciate how magic the Stardew Kitchen is at cooking fast as long as you have all the ingredients. I'm having dino nuggies because I'm an adult and make my own whimsy, right? It says 40. I'm going to set one for 20. Just so we can do a bit of a turn. And then we will start on the omelette. Actually, in the bowl used for parsnips, gently toss the arugula with any residual oil and seasoning. Stir the arugula into the parsnips on the baking sheet. So we're going to need these two bowls for the egg part, but we're going to toss the rocket, sort of place that aside when the parsnips are done. Do you guys like my mug? Alright, so it says 1.5 cups of lightly packed arugula. I'll do a little extra, why not? I love my greens. Greens. Kebab shop is shut, so we improvise. This kebab shop doesn't seem all that reliable, Tess. Also, greens. He's just in time for greens, chat. So we're kind of using the residual sort of olive oil and maple syrup for a dressing. And these are going to be tossed with the parsnips when they're done. He's arguably the biggest fan of all. He's usually there with the firsts. Just one of those things where, timing-wise, Kiwiland is 2 hours ahead and it's prime dinner. Just a reminder, we're going to put it up on YouTube when it's done as well. Fancy omelette time. We're going to be using the mixer, so I will be doing that over there so that you guys aren't blasted. Sorry you didn't get your kebab. I'm sorry too. This like magic kebab shop was closed when I was there too. We're getting Gruyere action happening today, so you guys are going to get an amazing, great action. No worries, Coaster. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's always nerve-wracking to stream something different, right? Alright. Carefully separate the egg whites and yolks into bowls. A large one for the whites and a medium for the yolks. You need 3 eggs. Got nachos W. I should keep both bowls close. Because we want the whites in here, yolks in here. Let me see if I can get that right. There are like gadgets you can get to make this easier in your kitchen, but I just like using the shells. I think my favorite gadget that I've seen was these plastic fish that like swallowed up the yolk. This yolk broke, that's okay. But we're basically like going to make the egg whites super big. An oven rack? God, no. So I'm using my bench to crack the egg. If you crack it on the bowl, you're at risk of, let's say, getting eggshell in your actual recipe. If anyone's curious, this is the 2000s mum cooking dinner Spotify playlist. Probably mishandling these yolks a little bit, but that's okay. Very solid choice and would share. Never do the bowl rim crack anymore, yes. Dumb question, shoot. Oh my goodness, this cracked open at the top. This is going to be a very precarious yolk separating. Shell. Yep, Tess is on it. Excellent. Chat delivers. Chat truly delivers. I'm going to take my time with this omelette, especially since the parsnips would probably need to cool down as well. The dot is part of it too, yes. And to clarify, we are going to be watching some Gordon Ramsay after this. I'm not sure if we want to watch Kitchen Nightmares or Hell's Kitchen. I'm feeling some Hell's Kitchen to know. So we're not looking at an especially long stream. So one yolk has stayed whole, and the other two have just died. Kind of funny. You naming your trufflets on Parlia? That's awesome. We need to use a hand mixer to whip the egg whites until they triple in size and form medium stiff peaks. The parsnips are smelling a bit strange, so I just had a bit of a whiff. I hope it's yummy. I am starting to enjoy these streams a lot, but I'm always nervous leading up to them, so I tend not to eat, and it makes me like eager, like in another way, to try whatever I'm cooking as well. Now I'm hungry. You guys want to see what I did with the cake? I ended up getting like multiple slices and like freezing them in portions like this. So while we're cooking, I think I'm going to take some bites of this thawed out cake. It actually survived the freezer very well. Yum. I'm an adult, right? I can have cake. I can have cake for dinner. Alrighty. So. I'll show you the egg whites as they go, but I'm going to do it from over here. So I'm not blasting your eardrums with electric mixer stuff. Let's put that up here. Stiff peaks just yet, but it is foamy and has doubled. It's definitely peaking. Like, so it's peaked on the beaters, and it's also peaked here, and it's also kind of holding shape there a little easier. Cool. Drizzle the milk over the eggs yolks, then use the mixer, no need to clean it, to whip the yolks until the mixture is slightly airy and pale yellow, about 2 minutes. And then we fold the yolks into the whites until just combined. I'm already like getting my spatula out, just already kind of anticipating the equipment needs. Is that a cookie? A cookie. We're gonna get some cheese grate action in a minute, so I might just do that for you while Cookie's here. No. Let's sort out the eggs first. I should have pre-grated the cheese before I open up any eggs, but that's okay. Milk, milk, milk. Don't forget your tea claims and your wholesomes. Teaspoons of milk. How is our week treating us, guys? I'll do this over here so that your eardrums aren't blasted. Hello, St. Laura, how are you? 5 minutes remaining until we flip our parsnips, which is pretty good, actually. So we want these yolks slightly airy and pale yellow. So I think we've gotten them there. And we don't need to mix the eggs in with the beater. We need to fold them. Gently fold the yolks until just combined. In with the whites. So if you're not familiar with like cooking and like the power of eggs, Eggs have an amazing sort of aeration ability with foods, so a lot of recipes call for you actually separating the yolks and the whites, and not necessarily needing both, but kind of treating them separately to kind of champion them both. I actually wonder if I took the whites a little too much. Because it's almost acting meringue-ish. We might have to do this over. But you know what? We will try. And look, if we have to redo the omelette, I'm happy to do that. We've got extra eggs. But it's a very pale, fluffy cloud at the moment, which is what we want. Is my title up to date? Let me check. It is in the title, but I understand that people may not be able to see the full title on like mobile, for example. So we're cooking the farmer's lunch from the Stardew Valley Cookbook. We've got some parsnips roasting in the oven at the moment, and we're kind of setting up our omelette. Okay. 15 seconds remaining. Okay, cool. So we'll get to see like the parsnips halfway through. And I want to use this smaller bowl that I used for the yolks for the parsnip side when it's done. I'll put it on the chopping board actually. So it's a bit of a gentler roast, but you've got the sugars and everything happening here. Food is like surprisingly scientific. You're understanding how certain ingredients change while they cook. I'm hoping that they're not too like over oily. But I guess that's kind of the point of putting it with like rocket / arugula. There is a delicious sugar smell coming from these as well, so that'll be the maple. So I'm getting some appetizing sort of thoughts here, which is kind of a relief, to be honest with you. If anyone does have any suggestions on what to cook next from the Stardew Valley Cookbook, please let me know. I'm going to be vetoing things like giant cakes in future because it is just me eating this. Thank you, Jazzy. I hope it's a good dinner. Please share. Hydrate, I gotcha. They sure are, Rexo. How are ya? Spag bowl W. I'm a bit partial to like meatballs But I do love me a spag bowl. Should we take it to like it says 35 to 40 minutes. Should we take it to the 40? The blueberry cobbler. Depends on how large it is. Should I over roast my parsnips? That's what I think I'm saying. So for this recipe, they're going with rocket or arugula. I think I will do the 40 minutes. So we'll put on the timer. Cam with the 3-stream streak. You are my second streak ever. Amazing. Thank you so much. So these particular parsnips have been tossed with olive oil and maple syrup. So they're giving off a sweet kind of vibe. No D20s in here. Oh, cozy with the 3 streaks as well. Yeah, we love Seribot. Seribot's so handy for it. I also use Seribot for my plushie giveaway timers as well. Heat a skillet over medium-low heat. No, we want to grate the cheese first. I'm going to show you my cheese machine, everybody. I say cheese machine. You can grate other things with this, but I love seeing the cheese come out. I'm just going to grate all of it. But we have Gruyere to do. Now, this little machine, I used to hate grating with a box cutter, a box grater. But I got this, completely changed how I do kitchen prep now. Sure to be the greatest. We love a great cheese. Yeah, we're just going to grate the lot. We're not going to be saving this for anything else. This is probably the most expensive thing about this recipe. $10 for, this slice. And I'm going to cut it into thirds. And thirds again, so that we can put it through the machine. Fancy cheese. But yeah, I don't think you guys are ready for the cheese. And how this ends up looking and coming out when it is grated. But yeah, like I said, I used to hate grating until this machine. It's absolutely changed my kitchen. You can grate, I've been using apple and pear for my cereal for the mornings. I've got almost no upper arm strength, but I completely love grating with this thing now. Right into my mouth? Yeah. So I just kind of figured we'll just grate the whole lot. We don't need as much, but I'm not going to need this for anything else. And you know what? It's all for me, so. Yeah, no, I can't recommend this more if you can find one. Cleaning isn't so bad, but I suppose it depends on what you're grating. There's a bit more cheese on the inside. This in a second. My mum is so old-fashioned. She'd rather grate by hand with a hand grater, and she's very stubborn about it. Look, that's completely fair. But you could show her that clip, I suppose, if she is interested in something different. Some for me. Work and head to the gym, you're completely good. Unrelated to what you're doing, what program do you use to stream? Do you use OBS? I use OBS and my phone camera as a camera source. And I'm using a secondary phone for chat. Alright, so that's the cheese done. We were gonna start on the stove. So we've got egg mixture, cheese. Let's see if the parsley needs prepping first. Trains are wanting cheese as well. Exclamation train if you happen to notice a train. So we heat up the pan. We butter it, we pour the egg mixture in, and we cook until the bottom of the eggs is set. Then we put the lid on until the top's mostly set. The eggs should be set around the edges, but still slightly wet and foamy on top. Season with salt and pepper, sprinkle the cheese, cover again, and cook until the cheese is melted. Sprinkle the cheese with the herbs. I'm gonna prep the herbs now, just so that it's like done. So this is just continental parsley, I think it's called. So I'm going to use this much. To the fridge with you. Banish you. To the fridge you go. And we just need like coarsely chopped. We're not going to go nutty on it. Coarse is not fine. It's never a sprinkle of cheese. You measure it with your heart. Yes. And heart says yes. Cheese? Yes. Parsley. So we've got that handy for later. Heart says more cheese now. Yum. See, and then 10 minutes until the parsnips are done. So that actually just works out fine. Butter. How much butter? Tablespoon. Easy. One for me, one for you, one for me. Medium to low. Pokemon's in the chat. I don't use this pan very often, but it's going to do the job today. I want a dishwasher, but I don't want to have a billion dishes. While that heats, I'm going to eat some cake. Still tastes just as good as it did when it was cooked. So, I froze portions of the big pink cake, and I thawed this out from the freezer, if anyone is concerned. Alright, pan is panning. Butter's basically melted. Bottom and upper sides. Easy. We don't burn butter, but there's a lot of butter. Cool. Is it your birthday? My daughters both love maple syrup, so I'd like to send this stream to you. Absolutely. And something else. I'm going to double the happy birthday for Cookie Mando, please, in chat. I'm going to be popping this up on YouTube as well, so keep an eye out in the next day. Pour the egg mixture into the skillet. Yeah, I actually wonder if I took the egg whites a bit too far, because the yolks have separated and the whites are floating on top. But like I was saying earlier, we have more eggs, and if we want another tray, we certainly can. So it's just a giant egg cloud. Oh yeah, happy birthday. I hope you can celebrate it and throw a party too. No party, just a new tattoo. Not surprised. That's how Cookie celebrates everything, with tattoos. I usually say, because I don't typically want to necessarily judge how people celebrate their birthday, I typically say, I hope the day is everything you want. People might just want to, celebrate quietly. Other people might have a huge party. Some people hold a subathon. I've never held a birthday subathon. Cook until the bottom of the eggs is set, 6 to 8 minutes. Cover the lid with a skillet and cook until the top has mostly set. We did get a bit of a coughing fit there, but I ran off to just wash my hands just in case. We've got our parsley over here. We'll have our cheese ready. Smelling eggy. Last 3 years, you take a week off work and get a tattoo for your birthday. Nice. Love it. Desperately trying not to dig too much into the cheese. Very hot water. So yeah, when the seri timer is done, we take out the parsnips. Wow. So it's all been very well timed, I would say. Yummy. There we go. So we managed to loosen that up. We will need to manipulate it shortly. We'll need to cover and cook. So there's not a whole lot to do left, but we'll take a look at the parsnips. We are going to be tossing the parsnips with this rocket slash arugula. Stir the arugula into the parsnips on the baking sheet and stir gently until some of the arugula starts to wilt. Easy. All right. 3, 2, 1. Cool. So we'll bring the parsnips over here. Ooh. A golden brown sort of situation. Cookie with the streak. My goodness. We're getting all the 3 streaks happening. We never had the streaks on the channel, and now we're getting all the streaks. I think it was Vanty with the first streak, if I remember right. Alright, I'm going to give this a second. I'm going to do a tab check. I love seeing people run the tower now. What else? Alrighty, so still hot. We've got to be careful. Sound okay? I did mess with a couple of things. Ooh, this is starting to whiten and get really colourful. Hold on. Sound good? Okay, cool. I'm trying not to like yell because the phone does pick up sound really well, as it turns out. So we'll basically toss the rocket with the parsnips. So almost like a wilted spinach sort of situation. Shush. So I'm going to hold with my oven hand. And we toss these a little bit. Actually need that bowl back. This actually looks better than I thought it would, to be quite honest with you. You could, I was saying at the start of stream, you could truthfully use something else instead of parsnips if you're not so fond of parsnips. Like I could see carrots or sweet potato being used in this situation. If not, then just like regular potato could work, some sort of roasted vegetable. But I wanted to do the parsnips just because I hadn't tried parsnips very often, and that smells super good actually. It's a really good combination of smells and textures and flavors. I wonder. And I head to bed. No worries, Vanty. Please take care. Sleep well. Might even see you when you wake up. That actually kind of shrunk a little bit as I took the lid off. Set around the edges, but still wet and foamy on top. Season with salt and pepper. Could go south. Sprinkle with the cheese. I actually think it's like set over the top, so it might be overcooked. So we've got a bunch of cheese, we put that back on, and we want to wait until the cheese is melted. Like I said though, we've got enough cheese and eggs to try again, if we need to. Should I sneak a taste of this while it's still hot? Yeah. Grab like a tiny little parsnip. Wow. That's really good, actually. Would maybe go for like a potato instead of a carrot, just for that starchy kind of quality. But that's a winner. Cheese is melting, melty goodness. Because I think this egg is a bit too overdone on the bottom. I might have had the pan too hot. Probably needed more of a low heat than a medium. Yeah, that is a very, very burnt omelette. It's like, it's not too unpleasant, but it's brown. Like, do you guys reckon I should try that again? Sprinkle with the herbs. Let's pull that apart. Herbs. Back you go. It's fine, the texture adds character. Maybe just for like my own sake, I might just want to redo it, but I'll have to try maybe a taste. I'll see if I can like tear some off. It's definitely crunchier than intended. Yeah, I'm gonna redo this. Amelia, thank you so much for the raid, friend. How are you? Thank you so much for trusting me with your people, and I hope you had an awesome time with Stardew Valley. We are making the farmer's lunch today. We were just looking at an omelette and decided, let's redo it. Gonna see this recipe brought to life? Absolutely. We were almost done, but I'm not so fond of this omelette, so we're gonna do it again. But everybody, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for trusting me with your people. And I will do a shouty. If you're not already following Amelia, Amelia is very much a Stardew Valley fan themselves. Alright, yep. That's a bit of a failure of an omelette. But that's okay, we live and we learn. But we've managed to do the side, so we've just roasted some parsnips. They were tossed with olive oil and maple syrup. And we've got some arugula / rocket happening there. Amelia, if you do need post-stream self-care, please make sure we're obtaining it, medicating, hydrating, doing all that post-stream stuff. I'm just kind of working out what we need to do for the omelette redo. We picked up extra eggs in this potential eventuality. So we're separating egg yolks. We are blending the eggs separately. And then we recombine and pop in the frying pan. Actually. Oh, and Fox with the raid. Thank you so much, Fox. How was stream? Lovely. I hope you had a good time with Power Wash. Such a relaxing game. If you are new here, I'm Mish. We are doing some cooking today. With the Stardew Valley Cookbook. Get Fox rated. Hey Zom, thanks for the lurk. We were almost finished, but we realized our omelette was pretty much burnt. So we're going to redo it. We've managed to do our parsnips and rocket though. Normally I skip this song while it's on, but it's just kind of one of those situations where I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to leave the bench. Fox. There we go. I'm super addicted to Paleo. We are playing DBD once a week, but we are listening to the community in terms of voting on Stardew recipes to cook. Never made an omelette, would be fun to watch. This one's a little fancier. We're separating the egg whites and yolks. We've got Gruyere cheese. We're using the bench for cracking our eggs and just using the eggshells to separate yolks. Some recipes won't necessarily sort of call for you immediately like using all parts of the egg, but some will just be like plain eggs, plain white, plain yolk. Come on. I overdid the whites as well, so I'm kind of fine with doing a second omelette, if you know what I mean. Exclamation train, if you happen to notice a train. I do live by a train line. Yeah, some fancy gadgets you can use for like separating eggs, but I like using the shells. They're right there and everything. The yolks are broken, but that's okay. And then we're going to do some kitchen Gordon things. I'm going to do some Gordon things afterwards, I think. I'm not really in the mood to play a game of some sort today. But yeah, just to show you, chat, this is cool enough by now. Like, that's kind of our burnt omelette there. So we know to kind of adjust the heat for next time. I'm going to blend the eggs over here so that you guys aren't blasted with your eardrums there. We're not going to overdo the eggs this time. Going for soft peaks. Last time I found soft peaks and I pushed them too far. So just so done to be blending, but we're not quite done blending just yet. Teaspoons of milk with the yolks. Time to start dinner? No worries, Mickey. So yeah, the thing is, when we did the whites for too long, it became like meringue looking, and we don't want that for an omelette. So airy and pale yellow yolks. Cheese. So we need to fold the yolks with the whites. We also need to get our pan back on. So I'm going to put that on low this time. It did say medium to low, but that kind of burnt. That kind of burnt the thing, so especially since we're using the pot lid. Cooking, yes, Cheapy. How are you? We are making the farmer's lunch from Stardew Valley. So it's not looking as meringue at the moment, so I'm optimistic. Yeah, it's still a little meringue, but it's combining a little easier this time. So I think this could work out a little better. So I'm just getting the sides with the butter. We did burn our first omelette, but that's fine. We'll be watching some Gordon Ramsay after we finish this dish. I'm just going to hang out with the new community. So we pour that in and cook until the bottom is set. It says 6 to 8 minutes, but I reckon that'll be faster. Put the meadow lee away. We can't buy Western around here, that's money. Alright, that is starting to set, so I will keep an eye on this. Parsnip. Delicious. Cheese. Cheese for me. So yeah, the omelette burnt quick last time, so I'm going to keep an eye on it this time. Because ideally we don't want the top to set like it did, because we wanted to be able to sort of like have it glued together with itself with the cheese and the parsley in the middle. I'd almost rather it be like super underdone. So then that way you can kind of cook sandwich, you know? It's like an egg cloud. Fluffy looking recipe. Yeah. Do a little tab check at the desk. Hot second. There's a couple of meat tabs. We don't want extra meat tabs. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Oh my god. It's a monster. It's a big monster cloud. Help! It hasn't like shriveled like the other one did. So I think we're onto something. Back with sound. MZ, we burnt our first omelette. I wasn't happy with this one. It didn't taste that good either, so we're redoing it. This cloud chat. Season eggs with salt and pepper. And then after this, we're just going to chill with some boredom. We're not going to play any games. Not really in the mood. Cloud is good though, because like this ended up being a hockey puck. I'm gonna have to have pancakes. I'm gonna have to make pancakes soon because I've got all the honey and maple syrup. Okay. Sprinkle with cheese. Cheese. I just wanna praise you. I just wanna praise you. I wanna praise you. Hi, 60. She got here in time for my omelette dance. I want to praise the cheese. I want to praise the egg. I want to praise the parsnips. I want to praise the parsley. Just in time. My God. So, 60, you missed us burning the first omelette. It's probably edible, but I don't like it. It ended up like a hockey puck. It was just overdone. The eggs were kind of over whipped as well, so it was giving a bit of meringue. Just looks extra crunchy. It's still good. It's still good. I've also been having bites of my cake. It's almost done. The cheesy insides. In time for me to go to bed hungry. Aww. Lenini would share if I could. To be honest as well, it's kind of on brand for me. I make people hungry all the time. I'm always talking food. You always send me DMs on foodies, I get so jealous. I do it with animal as well. Oh my goodness. Guys, I feel like it's gotten even bigger. And we fold. If we can. See, that's You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Look at that. You and the guy she tells you not to worry about. That's like a taco. So it says to like serve this now. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute just to try and get that like setting. You know, we got the cheese, we got the parsley. Pokemon in chat. He's so flexible. We figured out a life exploit for an infinite omelette. Everyone's just like, Parlia rubies? No, infinite omelette. Alright, the heat's off. It got burnt last time. The heat's off. I will transfer. We want the wider connection. It's kind of deflating a little bit now that it's off the heat, but it's maintaining a shape. Maintaining some shape. Tongu. So I will test this back at the desk, I think. But what do we reckon? Lucky duck test? Tess has experienced some cooking from me. And his dad. I cooked for him and his dad. Omnomlet. I love it, omnomlet. Okay, so you versus the guy she told you not to worry about. I'm so glad I redid the omelette. It feels like a waste of food, but like that was hockey puck. This is worth it. Alright. What we'll do, we'll go on a BRB. I will clean up a little bit in here. And then we will decide on some Gordon to watch together. How's that sound? Burned one was for science. It's a science experiment. I'll pop up a photo on the server as well, so you guys can take a look. And I will be nomming this at the desk while we watch something. I know that this was not a spectacular dessert, so to speak, but I'm happy that I've got like a plate of food to eat that's just a little different from usual. Not having a large dessert that takes me a week to eat and might even go to waste, you know? Alright. Get out of here. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. You guys will be able to fish and wholesome as well during the ad break. We'll go for a couple of songs.